YouTube, this is J101, and in this video I'll be stating my opinions on Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Now I feel I should pre-warn you viewers that this video will contain spoilers because I will be discussing the story and certain aspects of the story, and particularly the ending, which is the part that left the biggest impression on me. So if you haven't finished the game yet, I suggest you don't watch this, and then when you have finished the game you can come back and watch it, or you can just not, like, I don't care. So yeah, if you haven't finished it and you don't want to spoil the game for yourself, don't watch this video. Good. Okay, so you've left. Okay, now we can start spoiling things. So, the ending. I suppose we should just get down to the grit of it. The ending was very, very cool. Just, although the part where Edward finds out about his wife's death was a little bit shocking on me, because I was really hoping that you would get to see her again sometime in the story. Maybe she comes to his cove or whatever, the place he's found to set his life, or he goes back to her at one point. So yeah, that was a little bit disappointing for me, to say the least. But then I was surprised and somewhat relieved at the fact that his daughter showed up, which was pretty awesome, because yeah, you don't really know he has a daughter until this game, unless you're like an Assassin's Creed fanatic who knows everything about every character even before the games are released. So yeah, that was actually a really cool part of the story, and I'm glad they actually had some interactivity of those credits where you could steer and listen to them, because knowing Assassin's Creed games, the credits go for fucking ages, and I realized about 10 minutes in they had a skip option, so I skipped the credits because they take freaking ages. It's like twice or three times as long as regular movie credits. I don't get it. So yeah, I still don't like Haytham Kenway, even at the end. Even though he's only like a 9-year-old kid, he's evil. Seriously, why does Haytham have to be the one who fucks up the family tree and join the Templars, like with Edward and Connor, who are the awesome assassins, and then somewhere along the line Haytham fucked up and went, oh, I'm gonna go over the Templars just for fun, and then eventually got killed by his own son anyway, because he chose the wrong path, motherfucker. So yeah, that's how I feel about that part of the Assassin's Creed story lore thingy. Don't like that. But still, Edward Kenway, possibly the most laid back of all of the assassins this far. I'd like to say that he's possibly the best, but I'm gonna get so much fanboy rage, like everyone who loves Ezio and Altair and shit. But he's definitely more likable than Connor by a long shot. In the game, in Assassin's Creed 3, Connor had barely any emotion when he spoke, and it was just really boring. Whereas Edward really captures the aspects of a pirate, and a English pirate at that. And I know he's Welsh, but still English, Welsh, whatever, same thing. Still from the United Kingdom, shut up. So yeah, that's Edward's definitely a better character. And I also feel that this time period, the golden age of piracy, is probably the best so far. And when I say that, I mean that they just really nailed it this time. They just really, because there's so much you could do with this time period and era of history, and they just feel like they did it really well. That brings me to the main part of this video. The bulk of my opinions revolves around this main point. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag does not feel like an Assassin's Creed game. Now let me explain before you guys go like all rage mode on me. Okay, so AC3 kind of was the first game to stray away from the whole Assassin's Creed part, when Ubisoft decided to focus more on the history of the time period it's set in, which was colonial in America, whatever. I don't even know. Been a while since I played that game. So yeah, they kind of strayed away from the emphasis of the creed and went more towards history, which in turn made Assassin's Creed 3 kind of fail in its just as a game almost. It didn't do too well because of that, and I feel they did the same thing with Assassin's Creed 4. Don't get me wrong, Assassin's Creed 4 is an amazing game. Like, seriously, it's in like my top 5 games now. But that's as a game of its own. It feels too much like a really well done pirate game, and barely anything like an Assassin's Creed game. I mean, you don't even become a proper assassin until like the last 2 sequences, I think it is, and that's about 6 missions or something, and not even that. I think it's the last sequence you actually become a proper assassin and you get the assassin's logo on your jackdaw flag. Before that, you're just a pirate caught up in the Assassin-Templar conflict, when he's really just trying to get to the observatory and find money and fortune. So, part of the reason this game does not feel authentic to the series is all the other assassins were fighting for something. Altair, I believe it was redemption or whatever it was, when he got banished from like the group or the order, and he's trying to prove himself once again. Ezio, of course, he was fighting for revenge. Connor was more or less freedom, and then you have Edward. Then you have Edward, who's basically just in it for money, and that in itself doesn't help the franchise or the Assassin's Creed aspect of it whatsoever. So that is how I feel about this game, and I feel okay. For me, this part of the game really doesn't bother me in the slightest. I still have so much fun playing it because it's an awesome game. The only reason I bring this point up is because as a game developer and moving forward with the franchise, if Ubisoft chooses to do so, they really need to address this problem that they've been having with their games and stop focusing on the history so much. I mean, of course, you have to focus on the history because that's what Assassin's Creed games are possibly really successful for, the historic accuracy in them. But then you have the assassins kind of fitting in with the timeline. But they really need to bring back the whole Assassin's Order type creedy part of it. Otherwise, they're going to just continue to make really good history games and won't help the franchise. Personally, I don't think they can go any further with it. I honestly believe this is going to be the last Assassin's Creed game, and if they make a new one, it's probably going to fail horribly, is my hypothesis. I really don't think that they can bring it back. They've already done the time period where it really excelled. Those, oh geez, I don't even know what years it was. I haven't really played the first few. but like the Middle East and Italy era around that time was when it was really good. When they started going further and just breaking completely away from that time period, that's when it started to fail significantly. Now there is sound out the window, and it is really annoying me. So yeah, don't let that annoy you. Okay, now there's my kind of ragey part of the video over. Now let's get into the next part, which I wanted to talk about, which was in fact the historic accuracy of this game. And going into it, I already had some pre-knowledge of the pirates we were going to meet in there. I did some research by myself on like the main ones, like Charles Vane, Blackbeard, or Ed Thatch, whatever you want to call him. Benjamin Hornigold, Calico Jack is like the sickest pirate, and Bonnie, and yeah, and those guys. So when certain things in the game happened, I saw them coming and was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Actually, they actually did that correct. One of the parts that I feel like they did pretty well was Blackbeard's death, because I believe in history or something, I believe Blackbeard died. He was shot approximately 5 times, stabbed about 20, and then he was decapitated to finish it off. In the game there was no decapitation. However, he was shot numerous times and slashed with a sword numerous times, and was outnumbered on an enemy ship, which is very accurate as well. And that part was awesome. Although it sucked that Blackbeard died, because Blackbeard was awesome, and yeah, he died while he was celebrating his retirement. That's a little bit ironic. I mean, he decides to quit being a pirate and retire, and he just done it a bit too late, because it eventually caught up with him, and he got, you know, deceased for it. So, the other parts of it, where I just feel like I should say now, that Mary Read reveal kind of shocked me, because I didn't know about Mary Read until James Kidd, or whatever his name was, became a woman. So then I went up and had to, of course I had to Google Mary Read, found the page on her, and it does say that she disguises herself as a boy. So yes, that was pretty awesome. I'm really glad they put that in there. That was a bloody shock for me. I was so confused when that happened. She like puts a lipstick on or whatever and pulls that thing off her head, and like, wow, okay, so I've been fooled the whole time. That was pretty much the only thing I didn't see coming in this game, apart from Benjamin Hornigold being a Templar. That pissed me off, because but pretty much everything else in the game I could kind of see happening, because as I said, I had some knowledge on the pirates already, and I made the call of Black Bart. I had a feeling that we were going to have to kill that guy, because I don't know, I just felt in the missions when you're like with Roberts and stuff, and he's talking with Edward, he just seems like an ass who was going to betray you. And as soon as he did it, I jumped up out of my seat. I was like, yep, knew it, saw that coming, totally. And then we killed the shithead, and it was cool. So yes, historic accuracy for this game, A+, or maybe just an A, because it wasn't 100% accurate, otherwise it would be Assassins and Templars. So maybe a B+. Whatever, between there, it's good. Okay, historic accuracy for this game, good, very good. Now, on to the more, like, not so important parts of the game, but still, like, they are actually very important. The mechanics of this game function very well like any Assassin's Creed game. The parkour of it obviously has been improved since the AC3. It's much more like fluid and fast paced, and like they still have the same controls, it's just been improved, if that makes sense. They have that, what is it, quick climb feature, I don't think it was in Assassin's Creed 3, where you can like climb up certain buildings quicker if you hold the trigger and A button for my controller together. It's like the same thing you use to vault fences or whatever, I don't even know. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked with stuff that doesn't even matter. So, the ship boarding mechanic is very well done. Very well done. The only problem I have with it is that it's not super realistic, in the fact that if you're in the middle of a battle with like 5 enemy ships and you're low on health and you destroy one, you can board that ship in the middle of the battle, repair your ship, and then continue. I feel like you shouldn't be able to board until you destroy every ship that you're currently is attacking you, or if you escape them, then you can go around and board. But I'm not complaining that feature's in there, because there's been so many times where that has actually saved my ass. I mean, I've only ever got the Jackdaw destroyed twice in about 60 hours of gameplay. Yes, I've already played 60 hours in a week. That's actually a solid effort, I think. And then, yeah, there's people who probably double my time in the same length. Yeah, anyway. So yes, it's saved me a lot. Generally what I do is you destroy the dangerous ones first, like the men of wars or the frigates. You should get them out of the way first, board them, use them to repair your ship, and go finish the rest off. Oh yeah, which reminds me, the next video I'm going to be doing on this game is the legendary ship battle, which is the HMS Prince and the Royal Sovereign, the two ships. Apparently that's the hardest one, because there are 2 of them, and if they each have the same firepower as the normal legendary, which I doubt, because everything else of them is ratioed to account for like a normal legendary ship. Like, each of them have half the health of a normal legendary, because there's 2 of them, and instead of 20,000 reals, they each have 10,000. So I'd imagine their firepower would be halved and distributed as well. But it's just the fact that you're being attacked by more than one ship makes it harder. So yes, I'm going to upload that when I upgrade my ship enough to be able to take the one, which will probably be full upgrade, which I am really close to doing. I've got about 4 upgrades left, and I'll be fully upgraded. So yeah. What else? Graphics are understandably very good. Well, I was playing it on PC, and on PC, this game suffers from the same problem as Assassin's Creed 3 did, and I haven't played the other ones on PC, so I'm not sure. But I imagine it's the same. The problem is bad optimization. Ubisoft needs to fix this if they release another game, which they probably won't, and it's on PC. If they don't, then this isn't really important, whatever. I feel like I should talk about it because it annoys me. They still haven't optimized their games properly. I have a GTX 770, and thinking that I could run this on ultra graphics, you wouldn't blame me, seeing as I have a GTX 770. Running this on ultra graphics isn't asking too much, but apparently it is, because the things that I have to turn down to make this run smoothly, which by the way still doesn't. I have basically everything maxed except anti-aliasing, God rays, which apparently takes a massive FPS hit, which is really weird, and of course shadows. I have all those turned down about halfway. With those still, the game looks absolutely amazing. But I shouldn't have to turn them down to be hitting 60 frames per second. At the moment, in certain areas like open seas and small islands, I do get 60 FPS plus, 60 to 70. When you get into big ship battles, understandably it drops to about 40, sometimes 30, which is fairly annoying. But when you are in the jungle islands, and you are in the middle of the jungle where there is shitloads of grass and trees and vines and just foliage fucking everywhere rendering on the screen, your FPS basically cuts itself in half, and then you're chugging along at about 25 to 35 FPS, which is basically freaking irritating. For some people it's unplayable, but for me, I could deal with it because the game's just epic, and I'm not gonna let some FPS drops keep me from playing it. That doesn't mean I don't like it. I mean, doesn't mean I do like it, because I don't. It annoys me. I don't like low FPS on games that I shouldn't be getting low FPS on. So, patch this shit, or I'm gonna have a word. Your email, Ubisoft, will be spammed with 1,000 emails from me daily about this optimization shit. Maybe you should surprise them and actually optimize well next time. If there's a next time, which there probably won't be, already said. Moving on. Wait, what am I going to do? That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Don't know what else to talk about. Can't really judge the multiplayer because I haven't played it yet. But I will be when I'll upload some games multiplayer. Maybe not. I really never got into Assassin's Creed multiplayer. Played it really well. It's a heavily single player game, like Far Cry and most of Ubisoft's franchises. So I guess I can finish this video off with a rating. So as I mentioned before, it's not really an Assassin's Creed game, so my overall rating for it as a game on its own is an 8.5. Now that's really good for me, because I don't like to give games very high ratings just because I'm a fanboy, or I'm fairly unbiased when it comes to judging things. So 8.5 puts it somewhere in my top 5 video games probably ever played, maybe top 10. childhood held a lot of great gaming for me. But anyway, I'm getting off track again. So 8.5 as a game, but as an Assassin's Creed game, I have to give it a 5. Emphasize that aspect enough. It's too much about the pirates and the fighting Templars, which you don't even really need to do. Like, the whole point of Edward finding Templars and killing them really makes no sense, seeing as his end goal is the observatory, and he only really needs to find one guy, and killing all these guys along the way doesn't really help. Anyway, that's how I feel about it. So yeah, thanks for watching this. I'll be uploading the legendary ship battles sometime this weekend, hopefully, and some multiplayer matches maybe during the week if I decide to actually play it and actually record it. Then you'll see them on YouTube. But if you don't worry, because I'm not really motivated to do it. Anyway, so my name is BJ21, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.